Welcome to Wellness Quarters, where wellness lives. My name is Gayle Nowak. I'm your host, Wellness for All, expert leader, and communications and emotional wellness coach. The Wellness Universe is thrilled to bring you this inspiring interview series with our members as part of our Wellness for All program. We bring experiences like this to you because we believe happy, healthy, and healed humans lead to peace globally. Join us here on the second Tuesday of each month at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and the fourth Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time for a 15-minute session filled with insightful interviews and practical wellness tips from top professionals in the wellness universe. Whether you're seeking inspiration or actionable advice to enhance your well-being, Wellness Quarters is your go-to destination to support you on your journey to a healthier, happier life. This pay what you can, donation-based program is supported by generous viewers like you. If you'd like to donate, you can do that now, after we're done, or anytime in the future using the link that I am popping into the chat right now. And a special thanks to everyone who's already donated. At the end of the show, you'll see a pop-up to leave a rating and review. We're grateful for yours as it helps Wellness Quarters reach more people seeking tools and practices to optimize their well-being. Today, we're speaking with Angela Aurora Medway-Smith about how everyone can channel healing energy. Angela is the practical mystic, a London-based, internationally renowned spiritual channel, multiple international best-selling author, mentor, teacher, clairvoyant, retreat leader, and life and soul alignment coach who's waking the world up to the potential and power of energy healing. Welcome, Angela.
Hi, Gayle. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you. I'm excited for this conversation. This topic is near and dear to me. And I'd love it if you could start us off by sharing a moment when either you personally experienced energy healing or channeled energy healing for the first time and how that has shaped your approach in guiding others.
Oh my gosh. So the first time I channeled energy was 40 years ago. And it was a natural thing that happened when I did a meditation for the first time and when I went to a development class. I was absolutely terrified because not only was I channeling healing, but I could feel everybody's pain as well. And very quickly, the teacher who didn't know what to do with me sent me off to her teacher. And I spent 7 years with a wonderful teacher, a very well-known teacher in the 80s in London, a lady called Betty Bolcom. And over the years, I've practiced and taught spiritual healing, angelic Reiki, Mary Magdalene Reiki, channeled healing modalities of my own as well. And many, many healing modalities. I probably work with about 50 different frequencies. So, yeah, so I do a lot.
Yeah, wow. And I know you want to share, you have a process that you use that you would like to share with us today. So can you walk us through that?
Yeah, sure. It's really simple. Anybody can channel energy. The main thing to remember is that you call in spiritual protection before you do it, and that you set the highest intention. So I'll take you through the process. It's really easy. So I'll open sacred space and set protection. So you just follow a prayer of your own, or you can follow mine. Divine Spirit, dear Mother, Father, Creator of all that there is, I call forth now your blessing and my guardian angels and guides to draw close and support me in sending healing to, and you would name the person, for the highest good of all and harm of none, in accordance with the will of the divine and the will of the higher self. And then you very simply visualize a neon green energy bar above the person's head you are intending to send the energy to. It's as wide as them, and it's as wide as their body. So it's as deep as them, as wide as their body. And then you just use your breath and breathe that down into each of the energy centers, each of the chakras. So if you're not familiar with chakras, so you would breathe it down into the crown, feel it infusing the energy into that center. Breathe it down into the brow center, the third eye in the center of the forehead. Breathe it down into the throat. Breathe it down into the heart. Breathing it down into the solar plexus at the point for most people where the ribs meet. Breathing it down into the sacral center, the belly or the womb. Breathing it down again into the root, the base of the spine. And then breathing it down into the earth. Now you can repeat this process as many times as you like. What you'll notice is that you might be slower in some areas and be pausing for a few breaths, where the energy, because all energy is intelligent, it knows what to do, it knows where to go. So basically you are just very simply moving it down into the earth and repeating, perhaps 2 or 3 times. But you can also use this for yourself, and you can use it to calm a busy mind before going to sleep, or for self-healing first thing in the morning, or when you get some time when the kettle's boiling, or when adverts come on TV and you just think, right, okay, I've got a few minutes now, I'm going to just take some care of myself. So you can just set that intention. And when you finish, we always say thank you. So saying thank you to the divine, the universe, and the guides and guardians who've supported us on this practice. It's really simple. And it's one I shared in my latest book, volume 2 of the Energy Healers Oracle.
I love that it's so simple and it's something that you can, you walked us through that. I think maybe even in less than 5 minutes. And so we can keep it short and sweet, but there's opportunity to expand it if need be. So I love the flexibility and the simplicity of this process.
Yeah,
And I love that it brings us into the body as well. And I noticed that you mentioned the importance of invoking protection, and
absolutely.
connecting with the highest of the high. And I learned about that the hard way. So I really want to highlight that. Can you explain why that step is so important?
Yeah, I mean, this is why I had such a horrific experience the minute my clair senses and all of the abilities switched on for me, is because I wasn't taught that. And that's the first thing that my lovely teacher taught me. It's the first thing I teach other people. It's about me. It's I liken it, when I talk to my students, as wearing the right coat to go out in the rain. So, and I invoke different forms of protection depending on what type of energy work I'm doing. So if I'm going out on a warm summer's day, I'll wear a light jacket. So I'll just do the invocation I called in just now. If I'm working on a deeper level, say I'm doing some soul rescue or some work like that,
Mhm.
then I'll put a heavy duty parka on and make sure I'm really, really wrapped up against the elements. So I might call in all of the the archangels by name, or specific archangels depending on the work I'm doing. But it's all about, yeah, it's about getting your team there, isn't it? And making sure that you've got light beings who have your back is the easiest way to think about it.
Yeah, and my guess is the reason why we want those light beings who have our back is because sometimes we sometimes we run into energy that is not necessarily benevolent. Is that
Yeah,
true?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yes. However, in terms of, I mean, we live in a polarized universe where there's dark, there's light, where
Right.
there's positive, there's negative, black, white, the whole polarization. And in general, you only attract things on your level of vibration. However, it's like just being safe. It's just being safe, really. Just making sure that yeah, no nasties come nearby when you're working.
Right, right. Now, I also noticed that you mentioned as you were walking us through the process, sending thinking about who you might want to send this healing energy to. So can you
Yeah,
talk a little
yeah.
bit about that? Because I've heard conflicting things about like that you need to have permission to do that, but then I've also heard like well, if it's somebody that you're related to, not necessarily. So what's your take on that?
My take on it is that if you use the phrase I used at the beginning, healing for the highest good of all and harm of none, in accordance with the will of the divine and the will of the higher self, it's your get out of karma free card. So, you were saying that person can not accept this energy if it's not in their highest good. Their higher self has the choice not to accept it. And over the years, and I've had many experiences at healing clinics and more than one healing clinic, and had thousands of clients over the years. I have had clients who haven't accepted the healing energy because they choose not to. They want to remain. They want to remain within the space of that illness, if you understand what I mean.
Mhm.
And so when I teach healers, I teach them that the energy that you send will always be for the highest good, but you never beat yourself up because that person has the choice whether or not to accept it.
Right. Yeah,
So
yeah, that makes sense.
in a perfect world, you would have somebody's permission. However, if you're going to send to a whole country, you're going to have some people who,
Mm.
as I do, as many light workers do, we work on a global scale. There will be people who it's not in their highest good to accept this energy, or they're not choosing to accept the energy for whatever reason. It's their path, it's their life path.
Right, right, right. It's their journey and they get to decide.
Indeed.
So let's say that they do decide to receive that healing energy. How does that positively impact our overall well-being?
So it works on many different levels. So one of the modalities I work with works with the soul as well as mind, body, spirit. Most energy healing frequencies work with mind, body, spirit. I work with one that actually works with the life path as well. So you can send flow down somebody's life path. And I work with another that works with the soul as well as the mind, body, spirit. So the spirit being the part of the soul that is present in the physical body in this incarnation.
Wow. Wow. I'd never thought about it that way. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll
Um,
always make a difference whether or not it's you may not always feel it, but it
right.
will always make a difference in accordance with the will of the divine and the will of the higher self.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Beautiful. So for those who are tuning in or watching later, if they want to learn more about you and your work and they want to connect with you, what's the best way to do that?
Okay, so my business is called Cariad Spiritual. So Cariad, it's a Welsh word, and I'm Welsh. American people may not know that, but I've got a very strong Welsh accent. Um, so Cariad means love. Um, and the reason for that business name is that I approach my work with love from the heart. So Cariad Spiritual is my business name. You'll find me on all the platforms, Angela Aurora Medway-Smith, or Cariad Spiritual. It depends which platform what I'm called, but I put it all under a Linktree link, so that makes it much simpler for people to find what they're looking for and which platform they want to connect with me on.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. And I popped those links into the chat as well. Thank you so much for sharing your time and space and energy with us today, Angela. It's been a treat. I feel like we could talk for hours
Yes.
probably. And thanks to everyone who's joining us live and watching the replay. We'd love to see you for our next show, which is coming up on Tuesday, December 10th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time with Elizabeth Kipp. And she's going to be talking with us about the miracle of ancestral healing. Until then, be well, everyone.